Hello friends! In this video, I am going to show you how you can install open source control panel Virtual Min on CentOS 8 operating system. You must have heard about a popular control panel like cPanel or Plesk. But here today we are going to install open source control panel Virtual Min, which is very robust, written in Perl, and the best beauty of Virtual Min is that once you have successfully installed it, you might not have to go to line user interface, or in other words, you might not have to go to command line interface, and you can do all package upgradation and management of applications, users, everything from web user interface, that is from dashboard. So what we are waiting for? Let's get started with Virtual Min installation. Alright, now you can see my computer screen. I already have written one article so that it would be easy for you to install Virtual Min on CentOS 8. Now coming to requirement, you need a domain name and a VPS server or cloud server, anyone. So I recommend getting domain from Namecheap. Let me get the domain name. So now here you will find the coupons. This is April month and they are running some discount and coupons. Let me register a domain name quickly. So now here you have to type the domain name. Now I'll click on search and you see this domain name is available. So I am going to register it. So now this is showing in rupees. You might get the price in dollar. It depends on your country. So next, any promo code. I think promo code is already applied. So just in case, let me see if I get any promo code. Go to the deal section of InGuide and then go to Namecheap and then click here. And okay, this is the promo code. Let me copy it. Okay, now it's copied. I am going to paste it here. When you go through the link to Namecheap from the article on InGuide website, you will get already discounted price. So after that, click on confirm order. And you have to make the payments and all those things, and here I have to click on continue and then click on pay now. I already have filled those details. It will ask you everything like address, email IDs, on all those things, so you have to fill those details. I am just quickly showing you the process. Now once you have made the payment, you will be redirected to Namecheap. Now the payment has been authorized and order is being processed. Alright, very well. Now domain name is registered. Here you can see domain registration is successful, and after that I'll go to manage, and now the next step is to get the VPS server or cloud server. So I recommend getting a VPS server from Contavo, but you are free to buy VPS or cloud from anywhere. So you can start with the smallest VPS. I already have ordered this VPS and it's ready. Even though, let me show you how you can place an order. So here click on select if you want to start with the smallest VPS, and then you have to select the contract period, 1 month, 12 month, whatever, and then you have to select operating system here, CentOS 8. Also Contavo VPS is available in 2 regions. You can select European Union or United States. It would be your choice. And after that, here if you want additional IP, then you can order it, but for hosting websites and all those things, you might not need that. And after that, click on next. and then you have to fill all these details, name, address, and then you have to click on next, make the payment, and after you have placed the order, within 2-3 hours they will send you the login details, something like this: the IP address, username, and the password. Next step is to update the DNS records, so I am going to do it now. Let me close these windows. Alright, so go to Advanced DNS tab, and in here you have to click on Add Name Servers, NS1. Note here I am in personal DNS server, so now NS1 and then the IP address of your cloud. So let me get the IP address and paste it here. Done. And then once again you have to repeat the process for NS2 and then click done. Alright, so next step is to go to Domain tab, and in Domain tab you have to select Custom DNS and then type ns1.inlearn.in and again with NS2. Alright, so after that save changes. Now our DNS part is done. Next step is to connect to the server. Now you have couple of ways in which you can connect to the server. If you are on Windows machine, then you need a special SSH client, like this one is called PuTTY. And if you are on Linux machine, or if you are on Mac OS, then you can use your terminal. So now since I am on Windows, so I am going to show you how you can connect from Windows to your server. So you need a special software called PuTTY, and all you need to do is to go and download, and then based on your operating system, download it. Alright, next open it, and then you have to paste the IP address right here. So let me get the IP address and then paste it. After that click on open. You will get this security alert warning. You have to answer yes, and then the username root, and then you have to paste the password. So let me copy it and right click your mouse to paste the password on PuTTY, and after that you will get this Contabo logo. This means you are logged into your server. Let me change the settings for you. Alright, so this is much better. Okay. Next, go to this guide once again, and just in case if you are using some other hosting provider, then your username might not be root. It could be Ubuntu, or it could be CentOS, it could be OPC. Then in that case you have to execute this command first. Now since I am already logged in as root user, so I don't need to execute this command. Next is to set the host name. So let me set the host name. Okay, I copied more than one line, so let me copy it once again. You have to be careful while copying. Now you have to replace inguide.in with your domain name. Here also if you want to change server 1, you can change it. For example, I don't like server 1, I like node 1. So node1.inlearn.in. After that press enter. Now if I type host name, you see host name is set. Next step is to copy this command and press enter. After that next command, and now it will ask you a few questions, answer it. Basically, it will ask you just one question, whether you want to continue or not. After that, installation will begin in 3 phases, and it's going to take quite some time. If you like to take a break, you can take a break, and then you can come back, and I am also going to take some break and see you when installation is about to finish. Alright, now installation has been finished. You will be given a URL like this. So let me copy it and paste it. Okay, it's not loading. Sometimes it take 12 to 48 hours to propagate DNS. So it could be the case, but however we have alternative. So let me log in with the IP address. Alright, so here click on proceed, and then you have to enter the username, which is root, and the password. So let me get the password. This is the password, and then sign in. Now you will be asked a few questions, and depending on your server configuration you have to answer that. So let's begin. Okay, alright, so here the same thing it's telling which I just told you. Now here answer whether you want to preload virtual libraries. Since my system having 8 GB of RAM, so I don't have issue with 40 MB or 70 MB, so I am going to answer yes. Next, whether you want to enable virus scanning. Okay, so here I would like to keep on-demand scanner, so it will utilize that much amount of RAM whenever required, otherwise it's all okay. And then whether you want to run spam assassin, yes, it's just taking 30 MB of RAM, so no issue at all. Now here whether you want to use MySQL database or PostgreSQL. So MySQL is quite popular. I'll go with default settings, and then here copy this MySQL password and then click on next. Okay, so here is this one error. I am not sure why. Anyway, let's paste the password and overwrite the root MySQL password, and then click next. Alright, so now MySQL password is set. It's time to select the MySQL configuration size. Now if your system is huge, you can have like 2 GB or more for MySQL. My system is going to be medium, so I am going to select medium. Obviously you can make the changes later on, so no issue at all. Now here comes the tricky part. Now in the primary name servers you have to type NS1, and you have to skip check for resolvability. It might not resolve yet. We have to create these 2 records, and in here you have to type secondary name servers, that is NS2, and after that click next. Next, whether you want to store password in plain text or hash text, you have to make choice here. I am just going to let it default, but you can read and make your choices accordingly. And after that it will ask you to set up default virtual server. So I'll set up default virtual server on this subdomain. However, you can use main domain, no issue at all. And then you have, if you want to enable SSL, then you can enable it right now or you can enable it later. So after that click next. It could take some time while creating virtual servers for first time, but second time onwards it takes little time, so you have to be patient. Now VirtualWin post installation configuration is complete. If you click on next, it will show you this window, and here you can recheck and refresh configuration once again, and you will get the list of configuration and all the services running properly. Now here you can also note that PHP version available is 7.2 on this system. However, you can upgrade it later, so that's not a problem. It again takes quite some time to check the configuration, and once done you will able to return to virtual servers list. And now the configuration of virtual server is complete. If you want to add a domain name, then you have to go to create virtual server, and here you have to enter the domain name. Let's say I want to inlearn.in. So this is my domain name, and after that you have to create one administrative password. So let me generate it and copy it. Alright, so in order to prevent any confusion, let me name it. Alright, after that you will have a few options here. Whether you want to enable certain features or not, you can do so from here. And if you like to add additional IP, let's say you have ordered some additional IP, then you will have additional IP right here that you can assign to that domain name. That would be like a dedicated IP to that particular domain. Also, you would find advanced option and all those things. I'll go with the default setting at this time, and I'll click on create server. So now you see server is being created. Now the server has been created completely. Let's go back to return virtual server details, and this is the server. Let's try to open it in browser, and we'll see if it's working or not, and if not, then we will try to fix it right this time. So yeah, see, it's working now, and it's under construction. And let me go to HTTPS. Okay, now it's still giving privacy error. This means Let's Encrypt SSL certificate has not been imported. So what you have to do is to go to server configuration, and in here SSL certificate, and then you have to go to Let's Encrypt, and then here you will see domains associated with this server. So once you click on request certificate, it will request the certificate from Let's Encrypt, and within few minutes certificate will be imported and it will be applied to your domain name. So now you can see the web server is being configured for new certificate, and it says it's done. So let me go to SSL certificate once again. Okay, now connection is lost because the certificate has been, basically new certificate has been issued, and old certificate is no longer valid. So what we have to do is to go to HTTPS and inlearn.in, that is my domain name, and then the port which is 10,000. After that press enter, and now you see certificate has been installed, certificate valid, and now username root, and let me get the password once again. So this is the password. I am going to click remember me and then sign in. So let me save the password. Alright, So now, okay, if you want to allow some notification, then you can allow it. It will really help you to keep your server updated and address the issues before it becomes headache for you. So now here you can see that package update is being displayed, so you can simply click on that, and after that update selected package, and that's how you update the package. You don't have to go to line user interface again, you don't have to go to PuTTY once again, and package update you can do from right here, manage your websites and everything. After that click on return to package list. Alright, so next if you like to check your DNS records, you go to server configuration and then go to DNS records, and here you can see the DNS records. But one thing you will note here, for emailing, DKIM and DAMRC record has not been enabled as of now. So what you have to do is to go to email settings, and then here you will find domain keys identified mail, and it will ask you which all domains you want to sign. So after that, here I am going to just sign in learn.in. After that click on save. But wait, first you have to enable the sign, obviously, yes, and then save. So now this will generate the DKIM key and it will add it to the DNS records itself. Now let's go back to server configuration once again and go to DNS records, and you will see the DKIM key has been added to the server. Next, if you want to create mail users, then you go to edit users and then click on add a user to this server, and then name the user. Let's say my name, and I want password. Alright, after that you could do some settings here, like whether you want unlimited quota or you want to limit some quota, and then email settings, whether it has to be enabled or not, then mail forwarding settings and automatic reply and all those things. After that click on create. Now the email account has been created. It's time to log in and check. So and this time port is 20,000. Now here since I didn't type HTTPS, so that's the issue. I have to type HTTPS, and then you can see I am able to get the user min. Now type the username here, which is your full email ID, and then you have to type the password. After that click sign in, and you will able to sign in into the mail account. Now this part done. Next, sometimes the SSL certificate you imported from Let's Encrypt couldn't get copied to all the services of Virtual Min. In that case, what you have to do is to go to server configuration and then SSL certificate, and here you will go to service certificates, and here you can see there are 3 services which is still not using certificate, or at least they are not using Let's Encrypt certificate. So in that case you can click on copy to Dovecot, and the certificate will be copied, and then again return to SSL certificate management, again copy to Postfix. Alright, so go back again to certificate management, and the finally last one, and that's how you copy Let's Encrypt certificate to all services provided by virtual main. So now the certificate management part is done. Next, if you want to install script, you can click on install script, and here is few of the scripts like WordPress, WHMCS, Roundcube, etc. So yeah, like you see, this is the mail interface, and let's say you don't want to use this interface, and if you find this interface ugly, then you can obviously install Roundcube, which is much more improved and quite fancy web UI. Anyway, let's say you want to install some custom script, then you can go to file manager and upload your file into this directory, which is public HTML directory, and you can extract the file, and after that go and create database and all those process I'll show in next video. Basically in next video I'll show you how you can install Mailwiz on this virtual main. Basically the first step to install Mailwiz on cloud is to install any open source control panel, install any control panel. So now I have installed virtual main, and in next video I'll show you how you can install Mailwiz, which will be the part 2 of this video. So stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.